She's a kid, really. Fresh out of art school, full of hope and ideals, with a childlike, bright-eyed enthusiasm. She has ideas. She wants them to happen. Vrinda Dakhtar, just another artist living an exciting dream inside her own head on a bus to Edinburgh. But there's something about her dreams, her enthusiasm. Anna Wilkinson, a theatre seamstress, has come from Newcastle to talk about wings. Vrinda is going to wear wings and walk the streets of Glasgow.
These wings, even if I'm trying to make them as light as possible, or using fiberglass as the base underneath to build the feathers on, they're going to obviously be quite heavy. And I'm worried about...
Could it not be extremely thin?
Oh yeah, it will be the thinnest. But I'm just worried about the top heaviness, do you know what I mean? Just the gravity thing of it all.
But I thought if the majority of it is here and it's
this one looks,
on.
because I can see this. So this is going to take much more feathers than I was first imagining.
But that is just
because that, when you look at them now, it's like,
oh God, no.
It's going to take quite a lot.
I think he doesn't help. I mean,
yes, he doesn't help
rid of
at all.
that.
I mean, it is going to take time. That doesn't worry me.
So 2.5 weeks, you reckon?
Yeah, I really want to do them. The only thing is, I think there's going to be some welding involved on getting this. It's got to be.
It's the basement store of Glasgow's Kelvin Grove Museum. The taxidermist Lawrence Simon is helping Vrinda find wings to study feather patterns.
Do you reckon they're in another colour tonight? Where do you think they could get to?
Absolutely no idea.
Look, going through here. They're all labelled, but it's so methodical, isn't it? Because they're all just scattered about.
Look at that piece. Shells.
Nice shells.
The only one that's practically accessible, and it's lying empty.
Walking on your own through the streets, everything's quite surreal and you feel like a complete stranger. You wonder how everyone else feels. You all look the same, but you feel like you're from another planet. People get shocked constantly or surprised by things out of the norm, but so many things out of the norm go on in their own head or in private, and it's only surprising or out of the ordinary when it's public. So maybe by doing something like that, it does make someone stop and just consider, I don't know, whatever.
The wings are being made in Newcastle from Vrinda's design. She's tense as she sees the skeleton shapes for the first time.
Hello.
Josie decided to come.
You look scared.
I am. I'm so scared.
They're all just lying here, looking like bits of nothing at the moment. I did out a paper pattern. This shape, which John took away to do the skeleton of the frame underneath, which is all of this rather ugly looking thing, which is brazed and whatever else he did to it. All of this is just as it is because it's the lightest way of doing the frame. But that here, about this width, would be a flat sheet metal, which would then have like two little pockets so that these could slot into it.
Yeah.
Which is what I wanted, which is what he hasn't done for whatever reason.
Now, how would this work? Like, would it stay in that
you see,
position,
this was the other thing. He said, oh, actually, I think this is good because if you're walking down the street and someone bangs in, they're just going to fold up.
Yeah.
But no, because they move around too much, they're not going to stay. What we can do so that they could be folded up.
Nearby, in the theatre basement, Vrinda tries the frame with the skeleton shape. It's a technical fitting, but here, between the clothes rails, for a moment, sketches, measurements, steel and gauze unfold to become an angel's wings.
aluminiums. Yeah, there's got to be padding and things put on those.
Okay, now
What I have to see, I can see what's happening here is, however, if these were straight out, then these would butt together
They
and
can't.
centre back, but I'll need to cheat those out a bit
Yeah.
because if they go back, so I need to draw a line.
Right.
Wow! From the back that looks amazing.
I don't like talking about my work. Charlie, do you know what I think?
Yeah.
I think you just need to ask if you want to know what you want to know about, or just ask me questions. I'd rather be silent. You know,
Tell me about this first one then. Just describe it to
it's
me.
a self-portrait. I don't know, it's such a basic beginning part of painting. Well, a lot of the other portraits I've done have been really, that's really figurative, but a lot of the other paintings that I've done have been really photographic. And I don't intentionally paint figuratively, but
An awful lot of the stuff that you've got here though is self-portraiture. Why is that?
don't know. It's quite a different way of looking at yourself as well, doing self-portraits, or using yourself as the model. And it's quite strange because even with the performance I was thinking that I'm using myself as opposed to coming up with the idea and getting someone else to do it. I guess really it's coming into contact with the self, whatever that is, the depths of our self. I guess what I'm doing is questioning the mind, the ego, asking, questions about what makes us up as human beings, what's our ingredients. And this one piece by no means says everything. It's just me exploring a few questions in a visual kind of way, bouncing ideas off myself and the people around me. I see it being the beginning of what I'd like to do as an artist. Interacting so closely with everyday life.
With the shape and proportions agreed, Anna sets about adding individual feathers to the wings.
Each one of these large feathers is 50p each. So of course for something this size, you're talking a lot of money. So, but Alison knew that they did bulk boxes of, I think it's a kilo. So you get so many feathers for 50 quid. So it was a lot cheaper. So that was so I sort of knew where to get the feathers and things from. And then actually, the idea, because I thought that each feather would be individually put on, even these small ones. And then it wasn't until I got the brochure from the feather people, and they used this very top, the two very top lines, this fringe that they make up. So it's thousands of feathers on this bias tape. So that gave me the idea for the rest. So what I did, for days on end, driving me slightly mad, would put, layers. So I'd take three feathers, layer them together, and sew them onto tape, and then another, and then another, and another. Because then you've just got a whole row. They're all secured by being sewn anyway. And then it was that I glued on.
With the wings finished, Vrinda makes a final apprehensive journey.
Yeah.
The time and energy in raising the money in Glasgow has meant she has no idea what exactly she has paid for in Newcastle.
Oh my God, wings! Flying there. Thank God this room was quite big because I was really worried where I could actually put them. The top is smashed up.
Don't you think then?
Yeah, I really like it.
But the truth is written all over her face.
I'm just letting it sort of...
Raising money has been a problem, and having the wings made at a distance has been a mistake. Although the wings look so perfect they could have been plucked from a giant bird, they could never have matched the idealisation in Vrinda's head. She cries from Newcastle to Berwick. Over the next few weeks, Vrinda changed the profile of the wings and came to terms with what she perceived to be imperfection. The streets of Glasgow are to be her canvas for this work of performance art. A canvas full of practical problems if you plan to walk it barefoot with gigantic wings. Vrinda has now come to love the wings and is planning access to city buildings and balcony spaces where an angel can preen and pose, and shelter from Glasgow's inevitable summer rain.
Coming from Argyle Street, on this building, the front bit curves and sheltered with the two... Yeah, that's the window. Is that from one of these windows here?
Yeah, up at the top, yeah.
So...
You want out onto it?
Sorry?
You want out onto it?
Yeah. Would I be able to...
Yeah.
I'm doing a performance in July, and I'm gonna be wearing life-size wings made from feathers, but I'm trying to find spots where I'd like to do it.
Yeah.
Could I go out onto
Yeah,
it?
I've just got these ladders there. Just be careful with these
So
ladders.
would I get permission? Could I get your permission, or would I have to get the council's?
You get our permission, but you need to see the council as well, I think. I mean, we need to let you in. The council haven't got any keys, we're the key holders, so you need to get permission from us. I mean, that's not a problem. You need to see the council as well.
Okay, and if I just arrange the dates that I did it, I could.
Yeah.
All I want to do is basically just sit there
Yeah, that's fine.
for like
Yeah.
a couple hours or something.
That's up to you.
Okay.
It's quite dirty out there.
Housewives, office workers, kids playing hooky from school, youngsters too cool to admit they've just seen an angel on the streets of Glasgow. Vrinda's first walk on the streets has impact and touches in passing a poet, Jerry Luce.
When I came across her, I was just bowled over. It was a wonderful, wonderful thing to see on a Glasgow Monday morning with everybody scurrying off to work, and it's what it's what the city centre is all about. It's about consuming and being uplifted and spending your money and fulfilling the notion that we're all part of some wonderful world that is whose wheels are really commerce and the spending of money and the consuming of goods. And the angel was a wonderful counterbalance to all of that. For some reason I was reminded of a friend of mine who died, who might or might not have had a thing about angels, but I kind of associated these two things. Winton, that was his name, died a couple of years back, and he used to wander the streets of Glasgow, and because Winton was never part of that, I felt he would have been taken with it. It was just great to see an angel. Leave it there. What do I do now, Winton? Much the same as clochards, as winos. I follow angels along the street who have fallen on sad times. Though I didn't see her fall, I saw one in Buchanan Street, 11 in the morning on a soft September day, her curiosity greater than the construction workers, her feet dirty from summer's detritus, leaning on a post, a small and inconsequential wax and goose feather angel for our time. We both know all about angels, how these days they must stop for traffic lights, sidestep men entering and leaving banks, women with baby buggies, hard hats and traffic wardens, how they hold handrails to ascend steps and wearily descend, and move into Sauchiehall Street, wandering and reaching like the bamboo-caged branches of civic amenity trees. At times, with a toe bouncing sideways gait, with the sheer weight of wind on wings, crouching with the weight of descent, of gravity, of acceptance.
Not everyone is as struck by the symbolism. In the city centre, German tourists clamour for holiday snaps on a bench with an angel, as if she were a seaside novelty.
I thought it was amazing. I thought it was quite magical that, in a way, it puts even more value to it. The fact that anyone can come and sit down, take a picture, and they've taken a piece of the art back with them. You know, they haven't paid for it. They don't even quite know what it is, but they're drawn to it for some reason and want to take a bit of it home and put it in their photo album or on a mantelpiece. And, you know, there's people from all around the world. You know, there'll be pieces of this performance meaning completely different things to completely different people scattered all around the world, which I won't even know about. I love that factor. I thought that was, you know, one of the greatest things about doing something like this.
Meanwhile, Vrinda has bills to pay. Despite applying for grants, she has received no public funding for the Angel Wings or performances.
Well, I applied for loads of grants, artist grants, Arts Council, applied to loads of businesses, clubs, bars, hundreds of places, and individual sponsors. Well, they're not sponsors actually, individual people who I thought might like to support something like this. But I only got sponsorship from 3 people. One person Colin McDougall, who owns the bar. This other person, I actually one night had a dream of a phone number.
Vrinda awoke one morning with a stranger's telephone number fixed in her head. She didn't know it was the new number of David C. Van Alstyne, an American entrepreneur who has just opened a business office in Glasgow.
Say 15 minutes? Okay, bye. Do you want to come in, or no? Sure. Because I want to talk about this press kit thing. Enjoy stop. I can go alternately DC, New York, fly to San Francisco on the 17th. On the way back, I'm going to go through Cleveland. You know, it's kind of putting a little bit of pressure on things. I got this phone call early one morning while I was on the telephone with my business partner. And it was Vrinda on the line, and she said, "Who am I speaking to?" And those were the first words out of her mouth. And I was a little bit offended by it. It was my telephone, and so I said, "Who am I speaking to?" And she said, "Never mind, I must have the wrong number." And so I hung up, continued my conversation with my business partner. But I'd want that press kit, that business plan, and the prospectus. Is that realistic?
2 weeks.
Brenda called back again and said, this is going to sound really strange, but I just had a dream about your phone number. So that's basically it. Got to get that. We started talking, realized that we both had a connection to art. I'm not an artist, but have been involved in collecting a little bit of art and being involved with the art communities in San Francisco and New York. First deal out of GU, you said you're going to check.
I've been on to Kevin Conn. Kevin has gone and talked to me, but he was in a meeting and all.
All right, get back over there, take some shots, both stills, and.
The stuff we've got just now isn't enough.
Because if we're the first deal, then we want to make sure that is the. It's not out of mechanical engineering.
It's not out. That's it.
At first, it actually seemed a little bit contrived. The whole project seemed a little bit contrived, sort of a Vim Vendery thing, and a little bit cologne commercially. But she had a certain naivete or sincerity about the project that was compelling. So I ended up making a contribution for her to get the project going because she was under budgeted, as most artists are. But there was so much sincerity in what Vrinda was trying to achieve with this that it was compelling enough to contribute on that basis alone. As far as artistic merit, I didn't actually see any artistic merit in it until I actually saw the performance. It was a lot more powerful than I ever thought it would be. At first, it was just Vrinda's innocence was really apparent as she was walking through, and her vulnerability. I think that one of the most powerful components of it was her walking through, completely vulnerable as this angel walking through a city, and people with big issues coming up and accosting her, and people screaming different things at her. Or at first, it was just the whole, her personality or who she was playing at that moment was the most compelling thing. But after a while, it was more, I became more transfixed with the other people that were watching the performance and all the different reactions that you were getting from people that were out there. There were points where it was just a very emotional thing where I had to actually back off from the performance. All these different emotions being reflected in the people that were watching the performance. A couple of points became overwhelming, and I had to back off from the performance and let it go down the street a little bit and then catch up with it later after I'd composed myself.
Although the wings are the most obvious feature of the angel character, Vrinda wraps her body in bandages she believes to be just as symbolic.
Is this going under your leg again?
Yeah.
Like that?
Becoming the angel is becoming a ritual of important detail.
The wings were to do with hope, to do with this part of yourself that can achieve anything, and the bandages, a symbol of the pain and difficulty that you must go through in order to see your wings, as it were.
Do you want the pin there?
Yeah, well, I know that is why these bandages are so crucial. They're as crucial as the wings. They're equal, they're part of each other. With the other one, we can just do the other side. Yeah. Can you take that? When I was on the building, just watching people, looking down, and it was raining. It started raining, and it was really cold, and I was thinking about things like that. Then I'd drift off, then look at the people again, and then at some point something just clicked. It was a feeling of being there and not quite being there, and because I couldn't speak, and because everyone's voices were blurred, because I was so far away from them, and the sounds of the cars, this monotony and repetition. There was one moment where I just felt profound understanding. Not even understanding, I was overwhelmed by feeling.
During a week of performances, the angel has walked throughout the centre of Glasgow and now comes to Possil, a deprived inner city housing estate. If ever the symbolism of her art is relevant, it's here. Bandages for the pain we must all go through to realise the wings of escape. Or just a moment's distraction in a life of pain with no escape. It's the old question, what is art? Was it art? Was it worth it?
I think by the end of the performance I actually realised the seriousness of it and realised what it was I was doing. It was a really personal experience. I felt like I had my own motivation behind it and it meant a certain thing to me. Nothing that anyone would notice or think was important. I realised my own goals, the kind of things that I'm going to have to go through in order to achieve them. By the end of it, I felt like, well, even if it had no effect on anyone, even if no one took away anything, I took away so much from it, from doing that. It was so valid and crucial. Each day was so different, you know. I mean, the kind of reactions and how I felt at the end of each one. But it, you know, it was really hard. I was thinking it would be nice for other people to do it in different parts of the world and to have this symbol or image placed in different environments around the world. Just different people going through the experience of actually carrying that.
6 months of preparation and obsession, 6 days on the streets. Vrinda's Silent Passage was a melancholy performance, as much a journey from idealism into reality. It was physically painful, emotionally draining, and now it was over. How do you feel now, Vrinda?
Good. Calm.
Is that the last one?